Hello everyone, Voodoo here, and I'm here today with a guide for Havoc Demon Hunter in Mists of Pandaria, time running remix, whatever they ended up calling it. Now I want to say, before I get into this, is that this is a for fun season. So if you see something that you think is really cool and is really fun, do it. Don't listen to whatever's best in slot and all that kind of stuff. This is just kind of like a suggestion list for you to use and play with, stuff like that. Play what's fun. I'm going to say this at the start of every single section. Play what's fun. But with that out of the way, obviously I'm going to show some of the best talents and gem sockets that you can use. Probably not too big on a rotation guide. This one I'll do a little bit of an essence break, and that's kind of about it. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's just get on to the guide. All right, so obviously we're gonna start with talents. Now I'm on live right now to talk about talents because the tree is the exact same between live and mock remix, and I don't have a level 70 yet. But this is basically what I do for leveling. Nothing too crazy here. I would use Insatiable Hunger. If mobs start to last longer, you can go back to Demon's Blades. But Hunger helps you out a little bit more as you level up. And then when you get further down in the tree, you can just swap back to here. But this is basically the current Mythic Plus build, except we drop all the glaive talents and pick up just stuff to replace it. We need to take Critical Chaos to path down to the tree. We're taking Desperate Instincts because the Nether Walk isn't very valuable, so you might as well just take this. We have 1 point in Blind Fury instead of the glaive stuff, and then we're picking up Glaive Tempest instead of Soul Scar. That's basically it. You can obviously play whatever the hell you want to play. It's leveling, who cares? For Mythic Plus, you can play almost the same thing, or Dungeons, I guess. There's no Mythic Plus. Go Nether Walk, play Demon's Blades, and boom, you're there. Those are the only swaps I'd make for Mythic Plus or Dungeons. That's too hard-coded in my brain. And then for Raid, pretty similar stuff as well. You want to end up just kind of taking Demon's Blades again, and then instead of taking Rage Fire and Glaive Tempest, you end up just taking Serrated Glaive and Relentless Onslaught. This is more so for pathing down to Chaotic Disposition and any means necessary, and because it's better than these two ones are, there's some stuff with more Chaos Strikes that are pretty good. But realistically, again, you can just play whatever you want. Talents aren't too serious, aren't too impactful or important, and just kind of do what you want. If you want to do something without the movement, this is a no mover build for the mob remix. Just play this for single target. And if you want to go something more AoE focused with all the movement stuff still, you just drop these two talents here, pick up Glaive Tempest, a Fire Inside, and a Rage Fire. And that's pretty much it. Pretty simple stuff here. We're keeping Initiative because it's very, very powerful. You could even drop this in single target for like improved Chaos Strike if you'd like. If you're playing this build here, where's Glaive Tempest? This build here for single target, but you know, at the end of the day, doesn't make too big of a difference. I'm going to do a very, very quick rotation section. A lot of your damage is going to be based on what tinkers you get, which we'll go over. I just want to cover Essence Break really quickly, a little bit of an opener, and then Inertia. So Inertia is a lot of damage for Havoc Demon Hunter. You do 18% damage whenever you use a Fell Rush with Unbound Chaos. Go like this. Fell Rush through, boom, more damage. And that's important because it empowers stuff. So you basically what you want to do is you use it to buff up Death Sweep, the Hunt, which we have here every minute and a half, and Essence Break. And that's basically it. So use them on Essence Break, save 1 for every single Essence Break. Use it on the Hunt when you can, and use it on Death Sweep. Those are your 3 strongest abilities, but it's just very important that you're just not capping on them. A general opener would be something similar to this. You start off with just Sigil of Flame, Immolation Aura, I-Beam, Hunt, Fell Rush in, Essence Break, Death Sweep, Backflip, and Med at the same time, Death Sweep, and then I-Beam again. Now, you'd end up using your best Tinker at the start there, because the best 2 for Havoc are on uses. You'd use it with your first I-Beam. Of course, this is on retail, because I don't have a fully leveled character yet. It's day 1 to show that to you guys. But you just use them there. But again, a lot of your damage is going to come from those Tinkers you get. If you're in dungeons, you want to also buff up Glaive Tempest because it's very important there, and just stay in packs or Rage Fire. But that's basically it. Very quick rotational thing. Don't want to go too deep into the weeds on it. I'm going to talk quickly about stats here. Stats for Havoc in the Mop Remix is going to be Crit, then Mastery, then Haste. Most of your stats are going to come from gems. Actually, you get gems that give you a ton of stats. We'll go over those in the gem section, the socket section. But they give you so much stats that you actually end up wanting to mix it around a bit. So prioritize Critical Strike and Mastery. Once you get a ton of that, consider going more Haste and Burst a bit, just to kind of even everything out. But, you know, again, Crit and Mastery are so good because of Any Means Necessary, because of Know Your Enemy. Stuff is so good. But yeah, a lot of the stuff is going to be based on what gems you have. So you just focus on those, bring those up to date, and you'll be fine. Okay, so we're here, and it is now time for the big part of the video. So the big part of this game mode is called gems. You can see on my character here, obviously I'm only level like 16, 18. I played for like an hour to grab footage. But basically, we have different kinds of gems. We have meta gems. You only ever have one of those. It is on your helmet. And then you have tinker gems, which give you like abilities. And then you have like stat gem, basically. And then you have one cogwheel gem, which is on your boots. To my knowledge, you get 3 of these at max gear per piece. You'll have 4 of them for tinkers. I believe 4 of them for these gems as well, or maybe more than that. I think you have 24. Tinkers, you'll have, I believe, hands, wrists, shoulders, and belt. Will have 3 tinkers each at max level. And the gem slots, you'll have 3 on your legs, your chest, your neck, both rings and both trinkets. So I guess will get more of those. You'll have 1 meta gem slot on your helmet, and you'll have 1 cogwheel slot on your boots. The big important one is the meta gem slot. These are your powerful abilities. You get one of them pretty early on here. As you can see, I already have one. And these are going to be your on-use abilities. Everything else is a passive, but these are big on-uses. And there are good ones for Havoc. We'll go over that. But really, again, I just want to iterate that just play what's fun. If you see something that you think is cool, there's one that turns you into a giant ox. There's one that turns you into Chi-Ji. Just play whatever you think is fun. The one I have currently is called Life Storm. It summons a storm, doing damage around me, and also summoning flowers that heal and give haste to people within them. So if I use it right here, boom, everything goes dark, lightning comes down, and then if I stand in these flowers, I get a little haste and healing buff. So that thing, 3 minutes. But if you're trying to do what's best, trying to be optimal, so to speak, then Havoc has 2 that are going to be the best for you. One of them here is going to be Funeral Pyre. This is our absolute best option because it's a 2-minute on use, basically. Whenever you use it, you get primary stat for 1 minute, and then every 1 second you get more stat and more Funeral Pyre damage. So it's just a dot that ticks on you. Havoc's very good at dealing with this because we are a really good class at dealing with rot damage. So this is going to be your best one. If you don't have that, you don't want to use that one. Another good option is Oblivion Sphere, which is this one right here. Another on use to, that's not what I want to show you. 1 second. It's another on use 2-minute trinket or whatever. And then what it does is it summons an orb in an area, and while enemies are within that orb, they take more damage, and then after 4 seconds, the orb explodes. So 10-second damage debuff, 4 seconds until it blows up and no longer is reapplying. This is very good as well. Both of them you just use with your meta, use with your first item of your meta, gives you a lot of damage there. The next type is going to be the Tinker Gems. And you can see here I have 2 Tinker Gems on me. I have Explosive Barrage, which gives you just like damage. And then I have Brilliance, which gives you verse, and party members get more resource every 3 seconds. So if someone else in your party has this, you get Fury every 3 seconds, which is pretty good. Again, you'll have 12 of these. I'm pretty sure these things don't stack. They might, but I think you can only have 1 of each active at a time. So it's better to differentiate them out and change them around. You'll again have 3 on your hands, 3 on your shoulders, 3 on your wrists, 3 on your belt, I'm pretty sure. And there are 12 pretty good options. But again, if you see some that are fun, just go with those, please. So the best 3 for Havoc by far. Quick Strike is your best one. Your melee abilities have a somehow 100% chance to trigger additional auto attacks with a cooldown. Very, very powerful. Lots of damage there. Lots of fury as well. Lightning Rod. Your abilities have a chance to apply Lightning Rod. Allies are granted 10 critical strike for 10 seconds. Enemies suffer nature damage. And then when it ends, it gives you the crit as well. Incredibly powerful. Free nature damage proc. Lots of crit, which is great for Havoc. And finally, the last great one is Enkindle, which gives you a fire shield. And while that shield's up, you deal damage to people attacking you or dealing damage to you, and you get haste. Again, survivability is very good. The damage gets dealt back to attackers. I'm not sure if this works on AoE damage. Again, I haven't done like high-end content on this stuff. But getting haste is also very, very powerful. From there, we have different tiers of stuff, and I'll just go through it all. The pretty good ones, one of them is Windweaver. You get movement speed and have no fall damage, which is like whatever for Havoc. We have wings, but it also gives you and your party haste whenever you use your abilities, which is great. Brilliance is the one I have in game right now. You get 5% verse, and then party members get 2% of the resource every 3 seconds. Hopefully, of course, other people have that as well. It's pretty strong. Storm Overlord. Basically, whenever you use meta, you overload. Overload. Storm Overload, not Overlord. But basically, whenever you use meta, you deal a lot of damage and stun people around you for 2 seconds. So, pretty extra burst there on your cooldown. Wildfire is also pretty good. Your attacks have a chance to inflict fire damage and spread wildfire to a nearby enemy, inflicting more fire damage every 1 second for 10 seconds, and then it stacks and spreads to nearby enemies, stacking up to 5 times. And then from there, we're into kind of the more conditional ones, but they're still pretty good. Explosive Barrage just deals damage. Nothing too crazy with that one. Just a pretty single target. Well, it can proc an AoE, but just a pretty simple single target damage buff. Mark of Arrogance. Attackers suffer a Mark of Arrogance, which deals damage back to them for every 2 seconds for 10, stacking up to 5 times. Pretty good here as well. Brittle. Your abilities apply brittle to enemies, only, of course, non-boss enemies here. Which accrues 10% damage you deal. When a brittle enemy is slain, it explodes, inflicting frost damage to enemies within 12 yards. This is a great one for AoE if you're staggering out kills. Basically, they'll just go off, not all at once, and you'll deal a ton of damage with this thing. Slay is a really good one for non-boss enemies as well. Whenever you attack an enemy beneath 10% health, you'll attempt to slay them, making shadow damage equal to 100% of your max health. Really, really powerful execute damage. I can only use this once each enemy. And finally, Sunstrider's Flourish. Your crit strikes erupt in fiery explosions, dealing fire damage to enemies within 15 yards. Now again, these are just recommendations. You have a ton of these, you can mix and match. There's way more than what I've mentioned here. These are probably gonna be your best ones if you care about that. But please, 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 do with what's fun. Play with what's fun. If you see something that seems really cool, use it. Use it and don't even look back, right? It's gonna be this kind of season. It's not really gonna super matter. Just have fun. All right, so last we'll talk about the Tinker slots, or Cogwheel slots, I guess actually it is. So basically what these do is they just give you other classes like abilities. For the most part, it's movement speed. You can get sprint, you can get blink, you can get like warrior leap, you can get vanish. Lots of different stuff here. I have the sprint one right now, so I can push it and I gain sprint, which for a Havoc, not that useful. Now there is one of these things that is the best, which is going to be blink. Just giving you blink is crazy. 20 yard blink frees you from all stuns and roots and bonds and stuff. Insane ability. Really would recommend this one. But if you want to play with heroic leap, you want to play with vanish, use those. Really doesn't matter. This isn't DPS stuff. This is just kind of utility. So use whatever you want. And finally, I want to talk about the stat gems. So as I said, these have multiple sockets on higher tier gear. You'll get 3 on the highest pieces of gear, 3 on your neck, 3 on your chest, 3 on your legs, and then 3 on each of your rings, so both rings and both trinkets. And these just give you items. At the max upgrade level of these gems, you get their stat as well as stamina. So basically there's a few different levels of these gems. So each of the levels requires 3 of it to upgrade to the next one. So you can see here, I have a ++ speed, and I have a ++ crit, and also a ++ haste, and then a + critical strike. So 3 of these critical strike gems combine to create these ++ crit gems. 3 of the ++ crit gems combines to make +++ crit. And then 3 of those makes the legendary gem, the ++++ crit and plus stamina. Those are gonna be your best ones. We'll pop them up on the screen here in a moment. I have a bunch of them. So Deadly Sapphire is the crit one, critical strike and stamina, of course. We have Masterful Amethyst is the mastery one, mastery and stamina. And finally, the Quick Topaz is the haste one, haste and stamina. So you want to use those. Again, you can use the verse one if you want. I don't even know if I have any of the verse one. I don't think I do. No, I have haste, crit, and mastery. There might not even be a verse one. I don't even know. There's a speed one I'm using right now for leveling, but yeah. So you want to use those, combine them. Oh no, there is a verse. It's right here. But yeah, just, you know, use them, get more crit, get more haste. Actually, only like very little haste, but that's where most of your stats are coming from, is those things. So that's gonna be it for my quick guide. And again, I want to reiterate, just have fun. Who cares about what I'm saying, what anyone's saying? Just do what you want to do. If you see something cool, go ahead and do it. Have fun in the season. It's just a little breather before War Within anyways. None of this stuff really matters. It's all just to get like transmog and to have a fun experience. But if fun for you is doing as much damage as possible, then there you go. Those are probably gonna be the best ones for Havoc. Probably the best builds for Havoc and that sort of thing. Now again, have fun, play other classes. You get a cloak that just gives you a ton of stats, which you really should like help level other alts as well. And just have a good time. It's really fun. I've really been enjoying it myself, and just give it a try. So hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Have fun. I'll be streaming this stuff over the next few weeks as well, just because I've been enjoying it. And yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. A big thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you, Sky Elk, Andrew Keenel, 100,001 Zans, Brad Wisniak, Felfa Darren Dark Terror, and Magic Man 133. Thank you all so much. If you want to help support me and help fund the channels and the videos, follow the link in the description to become a channel member and get some cool perks in the process. Again, thank you all so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.